Hey there, everybody. Back again here in my office in Georgia, thinking about strategies that could be helpful for you all in your planning and just adding a little more interest, variety into your lesson planning. And so the strategy that I would like to talk about today is called Always, Sometimes, Never. If you've used this before, let us know how you've used it. I've grabbed this strategy and many others from a book called Math Tools by Silver, Brunstein, and Walsh. It's a book that I got when I went to an ASCD conference. If you've never been to an ASCD conference, it's a must-do at some point in time in your career. You always get lots of great ideas and inspiration. But anyway, I went to a pre-conference with Harvey Silver, and he was talking about and using this book. And as I was working through the conference, the pre-conference, it just got me thinking about how I could use these strategies not only in math, but in so many other areas. And they're quick and easy. Some of them require a little more planning than others, but the ones that I tend to like to use with teachers are things that you can just kind of incorporate into something you're already doing. So I think this one kind of falls in that category as well. And I'm going to show you that book in a minute, but first I want to kind of share this strategy with you. So it's called Always, Sometimes, Never, and I like it because it kind of seems like a game, and you can create into a game and have kids create questions for each other, which is always fun once they get the hang of this. But basically what you do is you take a statement, something that you need the kids to think a little bit more deeply about, and they talk about if the statement is always true, sometimes true, or never true, and then why, and have a discussion around that. So for an example, is a rectangle a square? I don't know. Is that always true, sometimes true, never true? What about, are all words that end in ing, are they always verbs? So anyway, I used this strategy and introduced it at a school a little bit ago, and teachers really got into this, and they were looking up answers and really had some interesting conversations around. Some people thought things were always true. Sometimes people thought that there were exceptions to those. And you can imagine with kids who really like to have a conversation and debate how this could really get them thinking. So you can come up with other ideas too. Like for instance, one that we talked about was are humans, how did I word it? Human being is nocturnal. So first you need to know, what nocturnal means, and then as we started talking about human beings, some human beings could be nocturnal, but are they always nocturnal or sometimes? So you could see how it could get interesting. So that's the strategy, is always, sometimes, never. I would challenge you to see if you could use it in some way in your instruction coming up. And then I'm going to show you that book here right now. Okay, so here's my Math Tools book. I think when I first went to this conference, I was doing a lot of work with differentiation, and that's probably what drew me to it, with the 64 ways to differentiate. And I believe I was consulting around math content at this time. So anyway, but I also wanted to mention, you'll notice here it says grades 3 to 12. While that's true, and these strategies are great for those grades, don't shy away from it if you teach K2, because there are strategies that can be modified and adjusted for that, and you never know what you'll be teaching in another year or two. So I wanted to show you a little bit how this is set up. You'll see at the beginning of each section, it kind of talks about all the strategies, and then what educational research and instructional practices and objectives, like each of those strategies hits, which is helpful when you're trying to determine, how to use something. Here's always, sometimes, never. And you'll notice that with each strategy, you've got a purpose, kind of an overview, the steps to go about it, examples, and then of course all the examples in here are going to be math related, but with a little bit of creativity, you can adjust for any content. So that's the book. Okay, so that was Always, Sometimes, Never. Please try it out. See if you can make it work in some way in your classroom with your learners. And let us know how you used it and what happened. Share pictures, videos, whatever. When we share, we all learn together, and that's really important for us as a community of teachers and learners. Have a great day.